What's going on, everybody? This is Zephyr Chung with Iris Diecast, and today I'd like to review this BMW M1 Procar by Minichamps. The BMW M1 Procar is one of my favorite cars of all time, so I'm really excited to have this model. I first met BMW M1 in Need for Speed Edge and immediately fell in love with it. Ever since then, I've been looking for a BMW M1 Procar model, but these were not too common, not to mention quite expensive, so I've been kind of putting it off to purchase. And recently I found this Minichamps dealer version for sale on $120 including shipping, and I thought I'd go for it. So the BMW M1 is one of the most popular and iconic sports cars from the 1970s. Not to mention it's a founder to the BMW M division. It's a pretty significant car in the BMW's history, so the M1's name is permanently reserved for this car, which is why the E82's M Performance version was named 1M Coupe instead of M1. So here is the front of the model. It's a Giugiaro design, and I think it is a really refined and beautiful design. It was kind of a design turning point from those round circle-lamped cars like the Mira to more boxier cars like the Countach. It kind of led the boxy design trend. You can see that the car is really flat. The regular M1 was just 1.14 meters high, so the Pro car is probably even lower. It's a design intended to achieve low weight balance for the maximum cornering speeds. This particular Pro car is the number 28 car, driven by the famous Ferrari Formula One driver Clay Regazzoni. It competed in the 1979 championship and finished in third place with 61 points. The model is overall pretty well made. It's really clean. The grills are all open, and the fog lamps don't have pegs inside them. The BMW logo and all the other decals are printed onto the car pretty cleanly. I found it a little bit unfortunate that the car doesn't offer functioning pop-up lamps. Norev made the road car version of the BMW M1, and that car had functioning pop-up lamps. So you also don't have opening trunks in the front, so this car actually lacks a lot of opening parts. The decal quality on the car is alright. I own a Brago Racing Focus, and that one was just nasty, with the stickers falling off since the model is old. But that's not a problem with this car. No cracks in the paint or the decals. It's in good shape, and they even painted the small parts here. One interesting fact about this BMW M1 Procar, Andy Warhol painted one as a BMW art car project, and there is actually a 118 model of it, so I'm really dying to have that one. I think that it would be a really neat addition to the collection. And here is the side of the vehicle, and while I was pretty disappointed with the lack of opening parts, I do have to say that this car looks damn good. It captured the beautiful body lines and the aesthetics of the real car, and it also looks really upscale and realistic. And here are the rims. This is probably the reason that I fell in love with the car in the first place. It has really iconic rims. It's a design that you don't see on other cars. The detail on the rim is great. They painted it silver. The little black accents, they're not holes, they're just painted onto the car. You also have the tire decals here. And yeah. The BMW M1 is the first ever midship supercar by BMW. I think it's the only serious supercar that BMW ever built. And it's to this day it's one of the two only it's one there's to this day BMW has only made one other midship car, the i8, so this is a pretty unique car. Originally, BMW commissioned Lamborghini to develop the vehicle's chassis, assemble the prototypes, and manufacture the vehicles, but Lamborghini's bad financial position led to BMW resuming full control over the M1 project. So BMW had to finish the car with Idle Engineering, a company founded by ex-Lamborghini technicians. There are only 453 M1s hand built from 1978 to 1981, and out of them, 20, I think 20 were Procar racing variants like this one. So it's a pretty rare BMW. And here is the interior. There isn't much to see because this car is a racing car. It's deprived of many interior materials and features to reduce the car's weight. Speaking of weight, actually, one of the M1's drawbacks were the heavy weight of the car. It had a steel chassis and stiffeners, so the car was too heavy to compete with other supercars of its age. About the model, um, it is pretty simple, but one interesting feature of this car is that they use cloth seats. These seats are made out of cloth instead of the commonly used plastic. And here is the view from the passenger side. Oddly enough, the doors open outward, which means that the door hinges are exposed explicitly. And like I said earlier, this is a racing car, so it doesn't come with a passenger seat. And in its place, there is a fire extinguisher. Now, part of what probably made this car look so upscale and realistic is the small door opening part angles between the body of the car and the opening parts. But because the opening parts gap for the door is so small, it's really hard to open the door, even with an opening tool. Oftentimes you end up scratching the paint, so that's I always try to minimize opening the doors for cars like these. Here is the rear. The BMW logo and the M1 logo is just printed onto the car. I thought the two little BMW logos on the side were pretty cute. You know, they're usually in the center for most of the cars. One unfortunate thing about the rear lamps is that they have pegs inside them, and it's also in the reverse lamp, which is white, so it's really noticeable. You can open the engine room. The Group 4 Pro cars were equipped with 460 horsepower engines. It could do 0 to 100 in just 4.5 seconds and a top speed of 310 kilometers per hour. Later on, the Group 5 Pro cars were turbocharged to produce 950 horsepower, which is just insane. The level of detail on the engine block is really good, actually. They paid great attention to the detail on the engine block and cylinders. It's really nice, and it's really well detailed. You even have real wires for parts like these, and it's like they spent all of their budget on the engine and the exterior. So here's a global view of the engine room. They did a really nice job with the parts here and here. It's a really nice engine room. So that wraps up my review on the Minichamps BMW M1 Procar. It does have its drawbacks, like the lack of opening parts, but it does come with a really stunning, beautiful exterior and amazing engine room detail. So I'm pretty sure it won't be as good as Norev's version of the road car M1, but it's the only Procar 118 model there is, so I'm really happy with it. And so anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed it, please click like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys soon in a future video. Thank you.